Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This your brother coming back with another sit down discussing the archaeology of the Israelites. This is the book, the Israelites by Time Life magazine, and I just want to go detail into it because the Kemetics, they just don't understand that we are the Israelites and we are not Canaanites. You know what I'm saying? And this just a brief synopsis just showing them that we are the Israelites and we actually exist and we're not making this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? The white man, who we know as Esau, you know what I'm saying, he put the truth in the movies, and our people still don't understand because the way they've been programmed. Now, you can watch movies like The Book of Eli, movies like 12 Years of Slavery, movies like Shaka Zulu, you know what I'm saying? Different movies that show you that we are the Israelites, and not just we the Israelites, but prophecies and things of that nature. So this is in 1955, archaeologists advocating tombs near Jericho in Israel. So they went and looked in tombs, and they found dead bodies of dead skeletons of Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Who are the real Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of Negro and Indian descent, different shades of brown. You know what I'm saying? It say based on the finding as it was seen at right, experts were able to reconstruct the domestic scene shown below it. The time is 1600 BC. The dwelling is of mud bricks. It say the occupants are 1 man, 2 women, and 3 children. So that's what you see right here. You see the skeletons, but they say we didn't exist, man. You know what I'm saying? It say their lifestyle was typical of the period when the Israelite patriarchs were wandering in Canaan. So we wasn't Canaanites. We wandered in Canaan. So that's a cut to you Kemetics, man, because y'all don't know anything, man. You know what I'm saying? And we migrated. Before we was in Canaan, we was in Mesopotamia. You know what I'm saying? This is another little synopsis. It say it's geographics, the route between the Mesopotamian city in which he is supposed to have been born, which is Abraham. So Abraham is the father of the Israelites. He's the forefather of the Hebrew Israelites. It say Haran, the city he is said to have left for Canaan, was a major exit of Mesopotamian trade. So that's where we came from. We came from Mesopotamia. My next book I want to go through is the ancient Mesopotamians. You know what I'm saying? Now this book it don't really go into the Hebrews as much because we wasn't established there, but we was there. You know what I'm saying? It talks about Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? It talks about Belshazzar. It talks about the Akkadians. It talks about the Assyrians, and it talks about the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Once you get further into the book, it have a brief little synopsis about them. It really talks about the Hyksos too in this one book. Now we came from Mesopotamia, and it's in this book right here. So I'm gonna read a little synopsis of them. This is page 402. It say Damascus, city and oasis in Syria, attested in the Egyptian text. So it's in the Egyptian text. That's another cut to you Kemetics, man. It's saying attested in Egyptian text, and the Amarna correspondent, it say ever since the 16th century BC, much of our information concerning the city comes from the Old Testaments. So it comes from, most of it comes from the Old Testaments, which is the Bible, which is the Hebrew text. So don't say the Bible is fake when that's our text and it's in y'all text. You idiots. You know what I'm saying? It's saying which describes the relations between the Hebrew kingdoms and Damascus in war of peace. So King David took over, man. You know what I'm saying? When you read further down, when it talks, I'm finna read it. It say the Arameans who conquered it in the last quarter of the second millennium were followed by David, by the Assyrians in the 8th century. So David took over, man. King David. You know what I'm saying? That's just a little brief synopsis in this book. You know what I'm saying? The ancient Mesopotamians, which Abraham was from Mesopotamia. Now the next book I want to get into is this book, which is called the Egypt of the Pharaohs. Now I'm gonna show you something in this book where King Solomon, David's son, you know what I'm saying, had an Egyptian wife, a black wife. He was black too, but he just wasn't a Hamite. He was a Shemite. It's saying First King. It's say only to return later as king of the 10 tribes, while Rehoboam, Solomon's son. Hold on, this is the wrong page. Salakia. No, this is the right page. It say Rehoboam, Solomon's son, had to contend himself with kingship over Judah. It say meanwhile, however, relations between Egypt and Israelites royal house had drawn closer. To quote the actual words of Hebrew analysts, and Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter. You see that? It say Pharaoh's daughter, man. It say and brought her into the city of David. And again, Pharaoh had gone up and taken Gezer and burnt it with fire and slain the Canaanites. So Pharaoh slayed the Canaanites too, which is they both is Hamites. You see what I'm saying? It say Canaanites that dwell in the city, and giving it for a portion unto his daughter, Solomon's wife. You see that? Solomon's wife. So how we in exist, man? That's just one thing that I can get you on, man. Now let's get to this book. I brought this book out plenty of times. This is the Hebrew pharaohs of Egypt, man, which were the Hyksos. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even going to open this book. I just want you to look at it. Because we've been over there 100 times already. You see what I'm saying? This is the book Babylon the Timbuktu. You know what I'm saying? By Rudolph R. Windsor. He talks about the Hebrew Israelites as well as the rest of the different. He even talks about the Hyksos. You know what I'm saying? The Hyksos were Shemitic from the line of Eber, man. In this book, the Africans who wrote the Bible, the white man took the Bible, stole the Bible. He did not write the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The Africans who wrote the Bible, which were the Israelites that dispersed into the west coast of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Different from the other Hamitic tribes, because the Israelites were Shemitic. They were not Hamitic. You know what I'm saying? It's another picture of the book. It's supposed to be one of David's minions. You see, that's a black man right there. Now, this is an actual stone that it was carved on. You see that? That's more archaeology and fact. You know what I'm saying? So, this your brother signing off with another one. You know what I'm saying? The letter to the Kemetics, which they don't know anything. Because it don't even, for us to explain this stuff to you guys, it will take literally hours upon hours. Because we have so much evidence of it. Shalom.